This was our first birth. We were looking at different home birth options. Home birth definitely was important to us, but just at the end of the day wanted to feel safe, but also wanted to feel encouraged at the same time. I had to think about what was I gonna be able to do. At the end of the day, it's me, my body, and I have to trust that body. And I really need to trust the people that are providing for it. And when we had first talked with Rebekah, it was like, as soon as we got off the call, I was like, yes, that's who we're going with. And one of the things that I loved during the conversation with Rebekah then when we first talked with her was she had mentioned if there's a point in time when they say that we need to be transferred, like that's a time that we need to be transferred and trust them. And that just encouraged me because it was at that moment where I said, yeah, absolutely. Like, I know that you're gonna have my best interest for me. And if you say to transfer me, like you're gonna know that. And so that was one of the, I think probably the most thing where it's like, I can trust you that you know what to say and when to do it and how to do it. I had, gotten a good birth team. I got Roots and Wings, who I felt very supported by, like medically. And then I also got a doula. Had I not had the team that I had, there's no way I would have finished at home. And if I was in the hospital, I probably would have had a C-section because at one point during birth, I said, I'm done, it's really hard. But at the same time, my team just said, you and baby are fine. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You can decide if you want to do that. You can go, but you are getting so close that there's no reason for you medically to go. But if that's your decision, then we can do that. In my head, I was like, yeah, they are right. It's probably true. I honestly loved my visits with all of the different midwives. I also loved the ability to be able to message them. So if it was something that I was getting in my head about and, I needed to ask them, I felt respected and knew that they were gonna be there for me. And I just felt like that care was so, intricate that it was, they were my providers, but they also, became a friend, or they had my best interest and had that close knitness. So it made it nice to be able to know that my care mattered. And then knowing that when I was going to birth, I had relationships with all of them, that regardless who I delivered with, it was gonna be the perfect match for me. My best advice for other parents would be honestly just exploring your options and really getting down to what's your limiting factor and really just digressing at the end of it. And one of the things that I remember Rebekah talking about in our first meeting is, I said, my fear is things that have gotten hard in my life, I have stopped and I have quit. And I said, I know that birth's gonna be very challenging. And so I don't wanna just quit on that too. And she just is really great at asking, yeah, but why? And your body is designed to do this. And it just made me realize yeah, absolutely. My body is designed this way. I think the best and most important thing is just trusting whoever it is with you. And going with Roots and Wings, they have such a dynamic team that they are all well-trained. They are people that you can honestly trust with your life and your baby's life. And I think that was something too that I didn't know about home birth, was that they'll bring things that the hospital would have too. And so they can still do a lot of things that hospitals can do that are still gonna be safe. So it's one of those things where it's oh, well, that's great, because you can still do and assess what you need to. And so I think that the most important thing is knowing that they deliver really great care. You're gonna get more of that intimate care. It's just a different way of bringing baby into this world. So it's definitely something I highly recommend, although it's intense.